Hi again, this is Prosolve Research. Been looking at, as you see, part 1, you'll know what I'll be looking at, which is neoplatonism. And we was up to sort of reading along with Porphyry, Leblitchus, I think, Unesco and Celchus, and the period in the 5th and 6th centuries when the Canaanites in Alexandria and Athens flourished. Thinkers of this final period include Cyrenius, Emperorus the Younger, Proclus, and Damascus. A distinguishing feature of Neoplatonism of later thinkers such as those of Lichus and Proclus is an embrace of magical practices or Theurgy, which they taught promoted the soul's development through the process called hypnosis. Okay, so let's go back to those two. Actually, we'll go back to Lichus or Lichus. Excuse the pronunciation. Okay, so here he covers Theurgy. Let's see about that. Despite the complexities of the makeup of the divine cosmos, Lichus still had salvation as his final goal. The embodied soul was to return to divinity by performing certain rites or Theurgy, literally divine working. Some translate this as magic, but the modern connotation of the term do not exactly match what Theurgy had in mind, which is more along the lines of sacramental religious rituals. Still, these acts did involve some of what would today be perceived as attempts at magic. Though the embodied souls are dominated by physical necessities, they are still divine and rational. This contains a conflict being part of an immortal divine nature as well as generally part of a material and perfect mortal domain. The personal soul, a kind of lost embodied soul, has lost touch with its deeper divine nature and has become self-alienated, and this conflict can perhaps be glimpsed in Lichus's ideas about the origin of evil, though Lichus does not comment on this himself. This was also the area where Lichus, Lichus. Okay, so I've been pronouncing it wrong most of the time. Okay, so this area in Lichus differed from his former master Porphyry. Porphyry, I mean. So it was, I'm trying to think, that I think was a Maori word, Porphyry, who believed mental contemplation alone could bring salvation. Porphyry wrote a letter criticizing Lichus' idea of Theurgy, something like that. Next letter that on the Egyptian mysteries was written in response. and religious inward. How are we doing for time? Analyze was that the transcended cannot be grasped with mental contemplation because the transcended is superrational, aka transrational. Theurgy is a series of ritual and operations aimed at recovering the transcendent essence of retracting divine signature through the layers of an education. And there's a few other things like scheme of things as presented by Aristotle, Plato, Pythagoras, but also by Chaldean oracles. The Theurgist works like at the material level with physical symbols and magic at higher level with mental and purely spiritual practices starting with correspondence of divine matter. The Theurgist eventually reaches the level where the soul's inner divinity unites with God. So like I said, a lot of Platonism stuff is quite connected to a lot of Christianity and Jewish philosophy views. Okay, thanks for listening. I'll carry on researching and we'll see how the next bit goes. Cheers.